Hello and welcome to the Cyclone Insider Show. I'm Travis Hines. He's Eugene Rapay. We both work for the Des Moines Register. I am in Boulder, Colorado, where the hometown Buffalo sent Iowa State to a 24-17 loss. Iowa State's second straight defeat, heading into a bye week, and what I think is going to be the most difficult three-game stretch of their season out of that bye week. So we're leading with all the fun stuff, but this felt like a big thud for Iowa State season. It's not over yet. There's still paths to Arlington and to a special season, but man, it's hard to envision that right now, Eugene. I think it's even more difficult to envision when we had a very similar conversation to this at Arrowhead Stadium last year after they lost two straight after a 7-0 start to the season. But the issues here feel less injury related than that did last year, and this seems both injury and execution related, to where like Iowa State just has not been a very good football team the last 2 weeks, and they've got a bye week to figure it out, and if they don't, the big dreams of this season go kaput.
Yeah, big thud, big face plant, just a disappointing two-game stretch going into a much-needed bye. But after you get out of this break, like you said, it only heats up after this. The schedule only gets tougher, and that's the scary part. You're now 5-2, 2-2 in Big 12 play, and your schedule, your season only ramps up from here. Not great, not a great position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State loses on a day where Abu Sama runs for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. Iowa State gets 22 first downs to Colorado 16. Iowa State outgains Colorado 441 to 395. And, it's with that situational football that Campbell talks so much about. It's penalties. What'd they finish with penalties here? It was a lot.
Yeah, felt like it was 7 for 59 yards. 7 assessed for 59 yards.
Everybody saw the ESPN graphic on the broadcast last week that they're the third least penalized team in the FBS, and now it's been an issue 2 weeks in a row. Rocco Becht was pretty pedestrian throughout today. Everybody go check out my column in the morning, because I thought Rocco, despite, he didn't play terrible, he just didn't play great, really took ownership for this loss in what I think could be a meaningful way. I mean, words are words, and, the play on the field's another thing, but you got to get from one to the other. So check that out. But, man, he missed some passes. The receivers, I think I counted 5 or 6 drops or could have catches. Beck throws the interception right at the goal line, which Ben Bramer got tackled, but after the game, Beck said it didn't matter. He threw a bad ball that even if they called DPI there, he should have never thrown the ball there. And I don't have the rule book memorized enough to know if that was an uncatchable ball or not for Bramer. I don't think Bramer could have caught that given where Beck threw it, but obviously he got tackled. But I think the way Rocco approached it, of saying it doesn't matter, I threw a bad pass, that kind of tells you the way that he's internalizing this game, and I think is a truthful way of looking at it, that we're, the thing he could control, the thing Rocco Beck could control, throwing a good ball there, he didn't execute, and that, part of that then puts the game in the officials' hands. The defense, I thought, was okay. I mean, they had the long touchdown where they, I think, just decided to take the play off, maybe have a pina colada or gaze up at the mountains. I don't know what was going on there, but otherwise, the defense, I thought, was fine. I mean, to me, this is an offensive game where they lost the game offensively, especially some of the numbers they put up. What were they on third down?
Third down, they were
2 of 12. I mean,
2 of 12, yeah.
You can't win a lot of games when you're 2 of 12 on third down. 0 for 1 on fourth down. Campbell deciding to go for it inside his own 20, which I don't hate the aggressiveness there. I would have liked to see them use that aggressiveness at midfield on the next possession, where when they ran a quarterback keeper on 3rd and 10, I thought for sure they were going to go for it, because you don't call a quarterback draw on 3rd and 10 unless you're going to go for it. Instead, they ran the punter out there. Decent punt, but Iowa State can't get off the field on 3rd and 17?
3rd and 17.
3rd and 17, and that's the ball game right there. So, a lot of stuff just went against Iowa State, both stuff they can control and then stuff probably a little bit out of their control.
Yeah, I thought the defense played okay. I think they played solid. It was definitely an improved performance from last time out. There were obviously a couple of very costly hitches, including that 70-yard touchdown you mentioned. But they also come out of the halftime after playing pretty well. I mean, they forced 4 3-and-outs in the first half. Colorado was just punting all throughout for the most part to start the game. And then they come out of the halftime break allowing back-to-back touchdowns. And then, of course, the breakdown in that timely moment at 3rd and 17. But honestly, like you mentioned, it felt more of the offense just not doing their job today. Abu Sama did his job. The offensive line and the run game, they had a great performance. I mean, they ran wild, and they still put up over 440 total yards of offense. But the passing game just never really felt there today. Beck taking ownership doesn't surprise me. But at the end of the day, I just felt like he and his receivers just weren't on the same page today, and there were moments where it felt like that they were going to turn things around, especially after that 2-minute drill touchdown to end the first half. Maybe you felt like, oh, there's going to be some positive momentum here, and things were going well. They were answering shot for shot with Colorado until that costly penalty, turnover, whatever you want to call it, happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably before the Cincinnati game when you and I were talking about this team, and I talked about its professionalism. Like, it felt like they were steady, they were doing their job, they didn't waver. That's completely blown up the last 2 games. Like, this is a team that like does not seem to have the same level of composure, same level of focus, the attention to detail, to steal a Campbellism. It's just not there. Like, this is not a team executing with any consistency, let alone at a high level consistently. Like, that to me is the big issue here. And you can point to Conrarty not being there, like screwing up what they're doing offensively. You can point to the season-ending injuries at cornerback, but like none of that falls within like the realm of like don't commit dumb penalties.
Yeah.
You know, throw a good ball, don't have a drop. Like Eskelson dropping 2 on back-to-back. Rocco not putting the ball where it needed to be on that shot to Sama down the sideline. Sama not bailing him out with making a good catch. Like, there's just a lot of like, we talked about it defensively, I think, Eugene, in our earlier podcast this week about how there just didn't seem to be a playmaker on that side of the ball, somebody that steps up and makes a big play. You know, we got a big day from Abu Sama, but you didn't have guys making plays in critical moments and, you know, maybe extending past what we thought they were capable of. And I think, again, that shows up. Like, where's Chase Sowell today? Where's, you know, Gabe Burkle was fine, Ben Bramer was fine, but nobody like made the play or plays that can bail you out of a tough spot on the road against a solid team.
Yeah, and it felt like when it came into those clutch short yardage moments, especially just before Rocco Beck threw that pick or the no call, however you want to slice it up, the Colorado defense was expecting Abu Sama. They sold out to just bottle up the run. I don't blame Abu Sama for getting stuffed on 4th and 1 there. I don't blame him for getting stuffed in the red zone there. But, you know, it just felt like outside of him, and that just really encapsulated that there wasn't really nobody else who had any real offensive momentum besides Sama. And it showed today, and it was a tough performance for Iowa State to have those breakdowns and critical moments or just not have those players be able to step up. And one thing that blew my mind was just look at the box score. Officially, they counted only 2 drops for the Iowa State offense, and I was like, that's some pretty forgiving stat keeping because there was no way there was only 2.
Yeah, and I mean, like, is Eskildson's first one a drop when it just like goes through his hands? Like, that's not technically a drop, right? Like, I mean, and again, like Eskildson's been a really important and good player for them. So like, they're just not getting it from the guys that they had previously been getting it from. Like I mentioned, like Townsend had like a couple of nice moments, but 2 catches for 28 yards. Sowell 2 for 25. Like, it's just, there's nobody there like putting their stamp on the game and exerting their will in a way where like making the game bend to you. And I think that's a problem for Iowa State, especially like I think they're asking more and more from Rocco Becht. And eventually you're going to start getting diminishing returns there, especially if you can't. I mean, you can't take advantage of 177 yards from Abu Sama. Like, that's tough. 7.4 yards a carry. And, like, none of it was fluky. Like, he was just getting chunk. It was like, I think really, if you want to take a silver lining out of this, it's Abu Sama, especially since we don't know what Carson Hansen's his availability is going to be going forward.
One thing, too, now it's like the second straight game where just 3rd down was just not happening. And it was crazy because it felt like in the beginning of the season or when they were on their winning streak, Iowa State was pretty good and pretty consistent on third down. Now it's like play calling seems shaky. The execution itself is even more shaky. And now with Iowa State going into this bye, there's a lot for them to really just look in the mirror and kind of figure out.
Yeah, going into the bye week, 2-2 in the Big 12. Again, like I don't know that they got to win out to make Arlington, but they probably do. And winning out might not be good enough. I mean, I think is the reality here for Iowa State. So it is it's a tough evening for Iowa State football fans after a 24-17 loss to Colorado. The Cyclones are on a bye week before welcoming top 25 BYU to Jack Trice Stadium. Iowa State's got to walk a tightrope here from now to the end of the year because, like, the other thing too is we're talking about the Big 12 championship game. Like, there's more at stake than just that, right? Like, you finish this regular season like 6-6, 7-5. Like, that is going to feel hugely disappointing, and I'm not predicting that in any in any fashion, but you can see how. I mean, look what's happening at Kansas State. Look what's happening at Penn State. Like, one loss can become 2, can become 3, can become a season pretty quick, and you don't want to project doom and gloom, but after 2 losses when you don't play particularly well, I don't know what else there is to be projected. But anyway, let's finish on that high note, huh, Eugene?
I mean,
I got an early flight.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good with me.
He's Eugene. I'm Travis. We work for the Des Moines Register. This has been the Cyclone Insider Show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will catch you next time.